Start. Mr. Deputy Chairman, while speaking on the appropriation bill, I would like to discuss a little disparity in the matter of the distribution of the allocations to the different states. Sir, there are many backward states in this country, including Assam. Generally, the allocation of the central grants for all these states is not, I submit, in proportion to the needs or according to the income of the particular state. The government of Assam has in its present budget shown a deficit of nearly rupees 30 crores, and it has also been stated that it is not possible to collect this amount within the state itself by additional taxation or otherwise. As a matter of fact, the government of Assam has been complaining to the centre about the inadequacy, or rather the disproportion, in the grants made from the income tax collected from the resources in Assam and from the excise duties on tea, jute, etc., as well as on petroleum. Sir, until some more adequate finances are made available to that state from the resources of the state itself, this deficit will go on and the development of this state would be hampered. It is time something was done, because it has been accepted as a principle that we should devote a little more attention towards the development of the backward people and the backward areas. Assam is one of the most backward areas. It is almost the most backward area, and I think in the matter of giving finances, the government of India should give a little more money for the development of that state. That state is backward in many respects. We have to see that this disparity that is there in this country and which is widening in certain places is removed as early as possible, and to bring in more industrialization of the backward places, Assam being one such backward state, there should be more consideration given to it. Then there is the question of communications in the state of Assam. Some attempts have been made for developing communications in that state, but no industrialist has yet been tempted to come to that state to start an industrial undertaking and take advantage of the immense natural resources of that state and utilize them for the benefit of that state and for that of the whole country. So the development of communications is another important factor. The development that has taken place is not at all enough, and the pace of progress has to be much swifter so that the state could be brought on par with the other states. The general conditions complaint everywhere is that the posts and telegraphs department has not been very efficient, or that it has deteriorated in efficiency in many places. People have been complaining of not receiving telegrams in time and of not receiving their letters. That is the case not only in Assam but elsewhere also. Of course, it depends on the efficiency of the people who are administering this department. Therefore, I submit more attention should be given to the efficiency in this particular department so that people may not have the grievance regarding the receipt or delivery of telegrams and letters. Firstly, I have to say something about the department dealing with statistics. The authenticity of this statistical information is always being questioned from all quarters. Generally, we find that these statistics are collected from official papers, and those official papers are not based on the actual facts. For instance, in the matter of agricultural production, we have been hearing for a long time that there has always been an increase in production. But actually only this year, perhaps during all these 5 or 10 years, has there been a little more production in agriculture. But all these years we have been hearing from these statistical publications that production from agriculture has been increasing all these years. As a matter of fact, production was going below our requirements. So the statistics should be based on actual village inquiries and not on the papers submitted from the revenue offices through their officers. Now I have to say a few words about some multi-purpose river projects. We have been told that the investigation for one multi-purpose project has been going on in Assam. This investigation has been going on for the last 10 years or so, and every year some money is being allotted for this purpose. We are surprised that this investigation has not yet been completed. In Assam, we have been waiting for power all these years, and it has to come from the development of this project, and this project alone can supply the power that Assam so badly wants. And Assam is so backward in the matter of power supply. I would like to draw the attention of the government to the necessity for expedition in respect of investigation of this project. The work on this project should be stopped immediately so that the investigation may be carried out on proper lines without further delay. Madam Deputy Chairman, this discussion on the calling attention motion for textile industry has covered the whole gamut of the industry from the grower of cotton to all other sectors. Honorable members have covered the whole field and given a number of suggestions. Madam, textiles is a very important industry in our country, and it gives employment and work to millions and millions of people in the villages, in the towns, in the rural areas, and in the cities. Government is fully aware of its importance in our national life for the economic, social, and every other point of view. Broadly, there are three sectors of the industry: the unorganized handloom sector, the unorganized powerloom sector, and the unorganized mill sector. Madam, you would have observed from the speeches made here that there are some inherent contradictions in the interests of the various sectors. Some members have, in the same breath, tried to support all the sectors, and obviously, there have been contradictions in their arguments and their presentation. If you want higher prices for the cotton grower, how can you expect reasonable prices of cotton yarn for the handloom and powerloom sectors? So, because of this obvious contradiction, there is a demand all over that the textile policy has failed and therefore it should be reviewed. Madam, the textile policy was meant basically to reconcile the varying and at times conflicting interests of the various sectors, and therefore it has not found favor with any one sector, and all the sectors are more or less feeling dissatisfied. This is bound to happen when you have a very balancing proposition like the new textile policy, where the various interests have to be reconciled and given proper place. The textile policy can be judged from 3 or 4 points of view, and it has proved successful from those angles. There has been an increase in overall cloth production. There is an increase in per capita availability of cloth. There is a great increase in exports, and the rate of increase in the price of cloth has been minimal compared to the general rise in the cost of living. It is very little, just 2% as against more than 8%, which means the common man is benefited. He is getting more cloth at a very reasonable price compared to other consumer goods and other things that are available to him. So, while the difficulties that have been mentioned are real, I would like to say that the policy has by and large succeeded in its aim and has proved quite satisfactory. Therefore, to review it in a manner that would satisfy everybody is just not possible. But as we go along, we are trying to modulate this policy and implement this policy in a way in which we can give as much satisfaction to a sector which needs attention at a particular time. So there is no question of this policy having been framed on account of pressures from the mill sector or the capitalists in the mill sector. As has been said, because they have suffered the most, there has been increase in the production in the handloom sector. increase in the production in the power loom sector, but there is a fall in the production in the mill sector. As has been said, mills have been closed in Ahmedabad and Bombay. If it were weighted in favor of the capitalists in the mill sector, as it has been said, why have they suffered the most? So we have tried to do a very balancing exercise in this way, and we will see that we try to protect everybody to the extent possible. But why is it that all the sectors are suffering? Madam, there is some basic difficulty in the whole situation which we have tried to go into. There has been excess capacity in the weaving side, and there has been fall in purchasing power because of the successive droughts and floods. These are two important reasons as of now why all the sectors are suffering. It has been said that the yarn prices have risen or the cotton prices have risen. It has not contributed so much as it has been made out. Now I will just come to some figures regarding the price of cotton. Cotton prices have risen pretty high, but if you take the price rise so far as yarn is concerned, it has not been as bad. From June 1985 to September 1987, raw cotton prices rose by 62%. Cotton yarn prices during the same period increased by only 33%. We have been varying our policies as we went along. First, we decided to export cotton because last year there was a glut in cotton and we had to procure a larger amount of cotton from the producer at the minimum support price. So we thought that a little export would help the producer, and we allowed the export. Full stop. Over.